Hi, my name is Marc Ernst. I'm a chief engineer at Honda Research and Development, and I was the development lead for the all-new 2016 Honda Pilot. And I'm here today to just answer a few questions that we have about the new Pilot. So what makes the Pilot great for Canada? So we wanted to make sure we could accommodate the vehicle for Canadian winters and Canadian situations, but they also have summers. So a lot of things that we wanted to do is comfort things for the customer. Heated steering wheel, heated and ventilated front seats, heated second row seats, and one of the great new features is, on the fob, there's a remote engine start. Not only does it start the vehicle, but it also checks the temperature in the vehicle, and it, whenever you're above or below a comfortable temperature, it automatically turns on the air conditioning or the heater and whatever devices you have to get it to a comfortable level by the time you get in the vehicle. So here's another question. Did anything unexpected come up that you didn't plan for that changed the design of the Pilot or a feature? One of the great big markets that we have for the Pilot is Russia. So we made a trip to Russia to try to understand the market and to really investigate how the Russian people use their midsize family SUVs. They took us to some of the current Pilot customers. We visited a man's house who is a former KGB, and he described what his life is like. To get to his house, it's off the freeway onto a two-lane, onto gravel, onto dirt, to get to this beautiful house out in the country. So those were all challenges that we didn't realize how extreme situations that one person could see in just one day. So that led us to really having to make sure that this vehicle was capable for all those kinds of situations. So here's another question. How did you come to the Pilot's styling redesign? So we started off where we're clinicking a lot of people who own mid-size family SUVs, and we asked them what they really wanted. A lot of them said, it's a family vehicle, we definitely need the space. And when I have the kids in the car and I'm taking them to one of their events, I really need all the utility of a family vehicle, but as soon as I drop them off, then I want it to be my vehicle. I want it to be a reflection of me. I want it to have my styling and show off personality and elegance. So we were really trying to get an overall stylish, personal feeling when the kids are outside of the car, and then we're in there to make sure they have the full utility of a family vehicle. Okay, here's another question. What Honda vehicle would you like to bring back? We've developed a lot of amazing, great vehicles, and I am always excited when we can create a whole new category of vehicle or redefine a category. The Honda Ridgeline is an amazing vehicle, and we're actually working on it. We're bringing it back coming soon. But another vehicle which defined a whole new category was the Honda Element. I'd love to see a new version of that, a new way of thinking of that, which again would shake up the whole industry. That would be fantastic. The next question, why so many USB ports? So we recognize with a family, everybody has a smartphone of some type or other kinds of tablet or something. And they all, when they get in the vehicle, if it's like my family, everybody gets in and they're all at 5%. And everybody wants to charge, and everybody wants to plug their phones in or their tablets in. And on a long trip, you really need to have that ability to keep everything charged so everybody's entertained. So we tried to put in as many USB ports as we could, 2 in the front, 1 in the rear, and available 2 in the back of the center console. 4 of them are 2.5 amp charging. That's enough to charge an iPad while you're using it, or up to 4 iPads all at the same time on a large trip. And it also charges smartphones faster. So we're keeping all of your technology charged and usable for the whole family so everybody can enjoy their trips. All right, we've got our next question. Can you convert miles to kilometers on the spot? Well, I know that a 10K run is 6.2 miles, a 5K run is 3. I just know runs. My wife's a runner, and I can convert that. So I guess if it's about From miles to kilometers, you multiply times 0.6. With the intelligent traction management, how does it recognize the different terrains? The intelligent traction management system, there is a mode button on the center console. When you push it, it cycles through normal, snow and mud, sand, and when you have the snow button pushed, then it knows you're on a low mu surface. So it starts with some traction in the rear. It starts with the all-wheel drive system engaged. It also changes the response of the accelerator pedal, so it's a little bit easier to modulate. So as you take off, you just ease into it and it just takes off smoothly and quickly and safely right out into traffic. Okay, let's go with another question. How many people are involved in this? We've got a great team. We've got stylists in Los Angeles. We've got a design team in Ohio. We also have a lot of people in our Alabama factory where the Pilot is exclusively built. The team members of the development team, there's about 50 actual project leader team members, but then there's hundreds more of PICs that actually do a lot of the drawings, a lot of the testing, and a lot of the development work. We've got people doing data, not just stylists, but clay work, people that do amazing jobs. But all of it together, it's all about teamwork and everybody working together to develop an amazing vehicle for the customer. So let's go on to the next question. What's the craziest story that happened to you or anyone on your team? We developed intelligent traction management. We developed the sand mode for Dubai. We went to Dubai to see how they actually used it, but we couldn't just go to Dubai anytime we wanted to do some testing. So we had to find somewhere local to do sand dune testing and really understand and do all of our fine tuning. So one of the places that we went to was Silver Lake, Michigan. It's a recreation park for sand dunes. Of course, the vehicle was fully camouflaged, so you couldn't tell what exactly it was. But when we get up to that actual location, everyone out there has dune buggies and dirt bikes and ATVs, and they're all driving around in the sand dunes. And then we come out there with a mid-sized family SUV and immediately stood out like a sore thumb. And so we're driving around and coming along, and people are seeing us, and they immediately kind of circling around us, taking pictures and videos of us and our camouflage car. Pull up to the bottom of a big dune and somebody comes by, "You're not going to go up that hill, are you?" And I said, "Yeah, we are," and just drove right up the hill. So, I mean, it was a lot of fun. We wanted to just stay there and have fun the rest of the day, but of course we're working, so we just had to get done what we had to get done, and that was a place where we were able to do our really good tuning for our sand mode. So let's go on to the next question. What is the fastest you've ever driven? They were developing the first generation Acura NSX, and I had the opportunity on our great test track to drive that vehicle, and I probably went about 140 miles an hour, and it was totally stable and smooth. It was completely awesome, and I was like, this is the easiest car to drive fast I've ever felt in my entire life, that was probably the fastest I've ever driven. Okay, let's go to the next question. Did any members of your family help us in testing? Yeah, my family, they might not have known it, but I'm always observing them, always keeping my eyes on them, and learning about what families do and what they want. Sometimes you don't realize that the kinds of things, the utility. My wife doesn't hesitate to mention things that she'd like to have or that would work better. Especially my older son is 16 and he's starting to drive, and so we're really thinking a lot about safety and how to keep kids and families safe when they drive, and what is the most usable safety technologies that people can understand and really use. If people aren't using the technologies, if it's just annoying, they won't leave them on. And so you want them to be things that don't just beep at you, but that are really easy to understand and help you drive safely. Okay, the next question is, what did you do to make the Pilot's new Earth Dreams engine more powerful yet fuel efficient? So this is our new 3.5 liter direct injected VTEC and VCM engine. It's combined with a couple of great new transmissions, a 6-speed transmission and a 9-speed transmission. We also have available idle stop technology. The new engine is the heart of this whole powertrain, and that direct injection allows you to get a lot more torque and horsepower. We're up 30 horsepower, up 9 foot-pounds of torque. With that additional torque, we are able to operate in a 3-cylinder mode with the variable cylinder management more often. That allows us to get great fuel economy, but then combined with a vehicle body that's almost 300 pounds lighter than the outgoing model, it's not only fuel efficient, but it's also a lot quicker. So it's a great acceleration performance, and so that's a great combination of fuel efficiency and performance for all the family's needs. All right, here we go with another question. Is tomato or tomato a fruit or a vegetable? I'm pretty sure it's defined as a fruit. Does it really matter? I'm not sure. Okay, let's go to the next question. How did you come to the one-touch walk-in feature? So this is a great feature on our second row seats, and it's really designed for that situation where it's a family vehicle, you're coming out of the grocery store and you're carrying your groceries and you want the kids to jump in the vehicle by themselves. So we've created this one-touch walk-in feature where by just a push of a button, the seat folds automatically, so the kids can then just jump into the third row seat and then just push it back into place. So moving on to the next question. What was the first Honda that you've ever owned? So the first Honda that I owned, I bought a Prelude. It was a 1992 Prelude, and it was a wonderful, beautiful vehicle. I bought a bright red one. A woman from our office here, our general administration, who is in charge of vehicles, took me down to the dealership to pick it up. She gave me a ride in her white Honda Prelude, and I knew that I needed to take her out to dinner, and of course I married her. So that was the first car I've ever owned. I've been through lots of cars, sporty cars like that, Integra GSRs that I love, and I'm currently driving a 2010 Honda Civic Si. The next question is, how do you keep the cabin quiet? So we've got a lot of great engineers that work on our noise, vibration, and harshness settings, and we really wanted to improve the noise in the vehicle. We're targeting family level of conversation so that when you're in the vehicle taking everybody where they need to go for all their family adventures, that you can have really good conversations. Now, a lot of time those conversations you might just be asking your kids, so how was your day? What was your day like? And they're sitting there texting, and then they go, fine. And then you just have that heartwarming moment of really sharing a family experience. But to keep it quiet like that, we targeted the windshield, acoustic glass on the front doors, thicker glass on the rear doors. We utilize triple seals on the doors, new foam barriers in the door areas, better sealing all around the vehicle, an improved carpet and insulation package. All around, it's incredibly quiet and a perfect level for conversational level quietness. Okay, next question. If you had to pick one feature or two that you couldn't live without, what would it be? So that's an interesting question. The feature that I couldn't live without, I'm gonna go with safety is the most important thing. This is a family vehicle, and safety is the most important thing for your precious cargo. And we're introducing an extensive list of driver assistive and safety technologies that we call Honda Sensing. So it's a full suite of different features, whether it's adaptive cruise control or a lane keeping assist to keep you on the lanes, or the collision mitigation braking system. If the person in front of you has hit their brakes and then the system itself detects that that's happened, those are just amazing features that really enhance the safety of this vehicle. All right, let's go on to the next question. Tell us about the Lion. So early on in this development's been going on for 4 years. At the very beginning, there's a pre-development team, and they were working on some of the basic images of what they were trying to accomplish with the vehicle. And they do a lot of emotional kind of graphical things and present those to the executives. And we had a great chief evaluator, a Japanese executive, and they had already presented to him about how the previous generation vehicle was more like a rhinoceros, and they wanted to move it in a more athletic direction of an animal, but not skinny. They didn't want it to be a cheetah. They really wanted to go towards a lion. And he understood that. He thought that's really great, but it can't just be a lion at the zoo. It needs to be a hungry lion. He's recommended that the team should probably go to Africa and get really close to some hungry lions. And I didn't know about this when I took over the project, and we were presenting them, and I said, this I think really is the modern, stylish family SUV with full capability, but great styling and a very personal vehicle. And he said, it doesn't look like a lion. And I was like, nope, doesn't look like a lion, because I had no idea about that other things that had been presented. And I look back at my team and they're like, just keep going, just keep going. We'll tell you about it later. And so I just rolled through the whole thing, and finally I got it later, and he just said, I just want to make sure that the vehicle comes, it should feel like a hungry lion, like very strong, and have a stance and a presence. And I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. But I was pretty surprised and shocked, and I guess I just learned you got to just roll with it. So, what is the most extreme place you tested in? One of the biggest markets we do go to is the Middle East. And so we had engineers that went to Dubai to understand how they use a mid-size family SUV. A lot of people that live in Dubai will go on a family picnic out into the dunes. They have a lot of expertise in driving in the sand, and they'll go dune surfing for a little while for fun, which led us to develop a lot of new technologies like our intelligent traction management sand mode. Next question, why did you put in a reversible cargo lid? So in the back of the vehicle, in the cargo area, we wanted to maximize the usability, but make it easy to use for anybody to understand. The lid in the cargo area, it's carpet on one side, it's reversible. On the other side, it's a super easy to clean plastic surface. So if you have dirty items, if you've got some snowy things or sandy things or muddy, you can put them on there, and then it's easy to clean later on. The lid also has two positions. It has an upper position, so you can have hidden storage underneath it. It also has a lower position to maximize that space, but then you get to keep the lid with you. So it's big enough for a large cooler to fit in that back area. So here's another question for us. How did you remove 300 pounds from the previous model to this one? So there's a lot of engineering that goes into that. A lot of it had to do with an extensive use of ultra high strength steel and a lot of other lightweight materials like aluminum and magnesium. We wanted to make sure we had an extremely strong body for our safety requirements, but at the same time really light. Lightweight gives you better fuel economy. It also gives you better acceleration performance. It had a lot to do with high-level simulation capability, but combined with actual testing to verify all that simulation. All right, this looks like the last question. What is your guilty pleasure? How about the all-new 2016 Honda Pilot? Thank you for joining me in these stories about the development of the Honda Pilot. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed doing the actual development. If you have more questions, feel free to ask.